Good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Magazine. I'm Martha Steele and I have 3 people from SoonerCon in the house today. Yay!
Hey.
Welcome to Matthew Kavanaugh, the Future Society of Central Oklahoma Treasurer and Chairman of Fundraising.
Aye.
Aslan Burrows, Future Society of Central Oklahoma Secretary, SoonerCon Director of Programming, and Amber Hannikin, SoonerCon Director of Communications. Wow, that's a big old mouthful of stuff, you guys.
Yeah. we
sound-
give our titles to sound more important.
Yeah, we sound more important than we are.
Well, I guess if you got one, you got to flaunt it, right?
Yep.
This has been a rough couple of years for SoonerCon because clearly you were not able to do 2020 or 2021's event.
That's correct. Because
That really,
For obvious reasons.
yeah, that really bites. You can cosplay at a distance, but it's just not the same.
yeah, it's pretty tough to do social distancing with 3,500 people in an indoor space at peak pandemic times.
Besides the fact it wasn't legally allowed, Norman had, I think, a capacity ban. We weren't even
In 2020.
in 2020. Yeah. Like, I think it was 50 people. That would have been a really small con.
The other concern is just the planning time. So this is a convention that in 2019 we had 3,500 people. We had, I don't know how many panels and workshops.
We have it over 370
Over 300.
blocks of programming content by hour over the 3-day weekend.
Yeah. So it's a lot of planning time. So if we're not sure if we can even do it and it's all volunteer time, we can't really.
We have a lot of financial commitments we have to make way ahead of the actual day.
Such
And
as,
There's a variety of guests that need to get paid, things of that. We need to sign a whole bunch of contracts.
I didn't realize you paid your guests.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We certainly pay our creators for their work and their time with us at SoonerCon. Those that are featured in our headline. We have a number of people that volunteer their time as well from the community on our panels and workshops. But, we also have, our venue costs. We've got all of the supplies. We've got,
That's a lot of stuff. And especially because you spent all these years sort of incrementally growing and growing and growing and growing. You got so much bigger than
We were really excited for 2020 because, we were in a new location at the Embassy Suites in Norman. And 2019 was our biggest year ever. We had a lot of growth. We had a lot of excitement. And we were just super pumped for 2020. And it was March. We had our last meeting in person all together. And we were just hearing about it. And we're like, we were already talking with the health department and everything. And we said, well, here's everything we're going to do so we can still have the con. And then it was like a few weeks later,
it didn't really take long for the entire world to just.
It's definitely one of our top priorities was everyone's safety. So
Right.
we're all trying to have fun.
Right.
But at the same time, we would hate to be the cause of any kind of hardship that occurred in somebody's life, whether from an infection or long haul COVID or the loss of a family member. It just, at that point, it's just not worth the risk that was involved. Even if we tried to do it safely at that point, we didn't feel comfortable enough with the state of the infection and what in the state to have such a large gathering of people. And this carried on into 2021 as well.
So what now? That's the question. Are we going ahead? Are we going to do the show this year? Please say yes.
We are. We will have SoonerCon 30, Heroes Homecoming, the weekend of June 24th through the 26th at the Embassy Suites again down in Norman.
Yay! I'm so excited. I'm a big supporter of SoonerCon. I absolutely love being with my people. And that includes people who like to read, people who enjoy cosplay, basically all of the fun things in life that
gaming, anime, pop culture, comic book. If you're into books, if you're into art,
all
we
of
have a
the
ton of
things.
art,
Don't
all
forget
things.
Team Science.
Yeah, science, STEM.
Of course. Science is awesome. We love it. You guys have done such a good job of integrating the newer generation and bringing the kids into the fold with the games that you provide for kids. Didn't you have something scheduled for coding last year?
Yeah, we've
Or
done
not last
some.
year, but the last.
Yeah, like
It's forever last year.
we keep doing it too. We
I
call
did
it
it
last year
yesterday.
every time. Yeah, we had some folks come out to teach some coding classes by way of using the Minecraft program. So it was kind of like a developer 101 class for kind of your older kids at the convention, kind of your 10 to 13 sort of range for that class. But those folks have come out a couple of years now and have taught that session, and it's always full and enjoyable.
STEAM is one of our mandates.
As it should be, because in mainstream culture, you see so many things done for kids who play sports.
New big stadiums.
Yes. And for the kids.
Exercise facilities.
I could go on for days about that, the injustice of being a smart kid. And to find a community when you're young makes all the difference in the world. To have that kind of a, oh my gosh, I'm appreciated here type moment.
I think that's one of the things that is so valuable about the fandom community overall. It's an accessible space for everyone, regardless of your age, your background. It's a space that folks can come together and enjoy the power of storytelling and what that story means to you. And we like to do that a lot in SoonerCon, as far as like you mentioned, we have our writing content, but there's a story in our STEM content as well. Like we kind of always try to approach that from the make it fun kind of side of things. And I mean, what did everybody stay at home and do besides watching the stories that people had made or reading books?
Into learning. I love that.
Yes.
That's what you do. Like, wait a minute. Am I learning something? Yes.
Dang it. They got me again.
Helping people learn how to do jobs out there that they would always be interested in. And one of the things my mother always told me is like, if you see somebody with a job that you like, ask them how they got it. That's one of the big things. And
that's how I got my job.
Yeah. Making these jobs attractive to kids, because it's not just some people in lab coats in an ivory tower. With the advent of social media, scientists and researchers, and they're more accessible than ever for kids to learn about these things. And especially with the advent of AI and robotics, those are coming down. That's going to change the way humans live in the next.
Much of Oklahoma's economy is actually based in STEM jobs, and there is a kind of an absence that we try in the Future Society to fill, to make it approachable for the community to want to get excited about what those possibilities are. That's why we're a Future Society.
In Future Society Central Oklahoma, really outside of SoonerCon, we want to get involved with the community in more ways and help have more events and classes and teaching opportunities and meetups that kind of focus more on the educational science aspect of things. Making is really popular with people. It doesn't matter if you are cottagecore and you like churning your own butter these days, or if you're really into Arduino and making.
We actually have one of our makers that has offered to teach an Arduino workshop actually for the coming convention this year. Speaking of maker spaces that are kind of niche.
We are definitely looking at the community to see if people want to help. So if you're interested in joining the Future Society of Central Oklahoma, you can always reach out, and we would love to hear any ideas that people have.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit us up on fscok.org and visit our contact page there. Share your ideas with us.
We want to try to help facilitate cultural sharing.
Well,
education.
The people
100%.
People who participate in SoonerCon have their own culture. Oh, that's one of the super fascinating things for people who are interested in anthropology, is that the fandoms actually have their own culture. All of them do. Being a part of that is being a part of a community.
What I love about SoonerCon is the mix of those communities. You could discover something you never knew. There's the Doctor Who fans, and then there's the anime fans, and there's the Lord of the Rings fans, and then there's something like you may be a big fan of and you didn't realize that there's other people that are a fan of it, and you'll find them at SoonerCon.
There's a lot of steampunk people that I saw the last time I was there. It was like, wow, I didn't know there was the Star Wars fandom is massive. Yeah.
Don't forget our Trek fans either.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Let's not forget to mention our Kickstarter.
Yeah, the big thing is the Kickstarter.
We're 89% funded as of this afternoon, right now as we're talking.
89% is pretty good.
We're excited about the results so far, and so appreciative of everybody who showed up for that. Even shout out to you, $1 donor from yesterday that kicked us up another notch. Your donation absolutely mattered.
Shout out to you, $1 donor.
No, for real.
Every donor is an important donor, especially in a situation like this where you need everybody who is part of a fandom or part of a community that's going to be represented here at SoonerCon.
We are for the community, by the community. We are a 100% volunteer nonprofit organization. Every dollar that we spend is a fundraised dollar. So that contribution matters. And particularly now, if you're backing our Kickstarter, not only are you going to, there's several backer tiers like for the rewards where folks will have the access to memberships, but they also get some additional perks that are not typically available for our folks that are just buying a membership to the convention alone. So it really, like I said, this community building piece matters because the fandom community doesn't exist without everybody participating.
To emphasize, we're a not-for-profit. Nobody gets paid off of this. Every dollar we make.
This is all just because you guys are passionate about what you do.
Yes.
Basically, when a SoonerCon happens, all the money that's made from that SoonerCon goes into having the next SoonerCon. So it's just a domino effect.
And
we were in a really great position in early 2020, and then, we had to refund everyone because we lost 2 years. And then, we still have expenses. We have storage units. We have, web stuff.
Various programs.
As we cut back as much as we could, but that money goes away really quick.
Yes, it does. Little by little by little.
Yeah.
And so that's why we did this Kickstarter. We looked at, we've done several fundraising efforts this year that have been successful. We did an auction. We had our community donate art pieces. And
the charity auction took place. It's a normal thing that we do at SoonerCon. And we decided to just kind of move it online. It was successful. It was largely successful. That money helps keep us afloat throughout the year. We need money up front to pay for various things. We're very good stewards of people's money.
We've got people backing at $500 level, $1,000 level. Like, we kind of just threw those out there, like, maybe people will. Maybe. And it's awesome. But
those levels are drying up, and they have really good perks. Like, you get to hang out with us in the green room and things.
Like those upper tier levels, kind of, you get that green room access, which gives you food all weekend. We have like a Walk of Fame stars we're gonna put out there for those levels. But then even at the lower levels, you're getting like badge flags to add to your badge to show that, like, I backed the Kickstarter. You're getting lanyards, you're getting an enamel pin, and we got art from Jerry Bennett, who's a local comic
champion.
I know who Jerry. Of course, I know who
Jerry Bennett is.
He's Jerry Bennett.
Yes,
he's one of our biggest supporters, like, he was so excited to work with us, and we've created a whole story arc around these multiple characters. Basically, the bad guys, Covidia the Cruel, her sidekick Misinformation, kind of the two enemies we've had the last few years. It's been very serious, and we're wanting to make it kind of a little bit campy, a little bit like it's someone that can be defeated because they're so silly in a way.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, and that defeat comes from our everyday heroes, right?
Right. And so
everybody doing their part.
Wearing masks.
That's exactly what our heroes represent. We have True Shot, who's a physician, and he represents the vaccine.
Awesome.
We have Frontline, who obviously represents the frontline workers.
They're a firefighter.
He's a firefighter. And then we have Safeguard, who represents, and she's an epidemiologist, and she represents, masking and all of the.
You're just hitting all my buttons, girl.
All of the things that you can do to
She represents
help.
the public health aspect of it, and all the research and all the more academic stuff that has gone into it.
And these characters are all drawn by Jerry Bennett, and there are art pieces that are included in the Kickstarter so that you can get that. Along with that, we also have local cosplayers and drag performers who will be bringing these characters to life at the convention.
Oh, I can't wait! I'm so excited.
So you get to meet them, take pictures with them. We might have some fun things planned for certain ceremonies.
We
and
might,
whatnot.
maybe. We'll see.
Teases.
So you'll just have to show up to see.
You're talking about all of the things that are important to kids who play games, to adults that play games, to people who are fans of different genres.
Pop culture, anime,
yes,
Star Trek, Star Wars.
It's all so important, especially if you missed seeing some of your favorite shows during COVID. Those people couldn't create during that time. That's why the shows didn't come on, because people weren't writing. I mean, you have to look at where it all comes from as well. So
that's precisely right. That's why we have several authors each year in our lineup of panelists, because somebody wrote that story down, even if it was made into a TV show or a comic book. And so when we worked on this Kickstarter project, it was important to us to honor our creator space that we have as part of SoonerCon. Let's shout out those independent creators out there working hard. And the other side of it was we really want to honor the heroes coming out of this pandemic space and doing that homecoming. That's what our intention is with SoonerCon 30. It's a big anniversary show for us, but we invite you to come back home to us.
Our goal is 10,000. That's the lowest level that we felt we could make reasonably, because Kickstarter, if you don't reach your goal, you don't get any of the money.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that's why we're
come on, guys. Give a little. If a lot of people give a
There's a
little,
dollar
and some people
level.
give a lot, that's awesome.
we kind of, if we can do 20, which is quite a stretch, I understand. That's why they call stretch goals.
Then you can do a spectacular
But
show.
then we can really kind of do fun stuff, not just for this year, but also looking forward.
That's the most important key.
Guests, especially big headliner guests, they cost a lot of.
So how do they give to the Kickstarter? What's the bottom line?
So I think the easiest way is to go to Kickstarter.com and you can search for SoonerCon, all one word, SoonerCon, and that's the easiest way to find us. You can also follow us on social media. If you find SoonerCon on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, commenting, liking. I think a lot of people don't realize, you do a lot of like scrolling, and those algorithms really want you to interact with things. So if
Right.
there are like pages and groups that you like, that little bit of interaction, just hitting that like button or like leaving a small comment does worlds for them, especially like us, our nonprofit. We don't have a lot of funds to put money behind every post and get it out there.
When you look at the percentages of the people you work with who actually love these fandoms and who would love to participate in the conventions, you'd be really surprised at how many people are part of this community.
You can visit us at SoonerCon.com, all one word, SoonerCon.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under SoonerCon. And if you would like to find our Kickstarter, go to Kickstarter.com and search for SoonerCon.
If you'd like to learn more about our nonprofit, the Future Society of Central Oklahoma, visit us at fscok.org.
Matthew Kavanaugh, Future Society of Central Oklahoma Treasurer and Chairman of Fundraising, Aslan Burrows, Future Society of Central Oklahoma Secretary and SoonerCon Director of Programming, and Amber Hannikin, SoonerCon Director of Communications. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Sunday Morning Magazine.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.